click that. And there we go. All right. I did figure it out. So welcome to the YouTube gang. We're live on YouTube, live on Facebook. Like I said, game plan we're going to run through. I won't be able to see your video comments so much over on YouTube. Certainly we'll be able to see them here on Facebook, and we'll kind of hang out and do that. So Montreal checks in. Valerie is here. Karen from usual rainy Greece. I see that. Terry says hello. Margaret's from Knoxville. Hello. Emily from Columbus. Very fun. Let's see. Jean from Madison, Wisconsin. Very nice to see you. So Linda says no volume. Volume looks good on my side. I think you guys can hear me, right? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Maybe it could be something on your side, Linda. Maybe the volume is turned down on your machine potentially, but I don't know. And I can see on Facebook it looks like the closed captioning is working, which means my audio is making it to Facebook. So I'm not sure. Sunny Rhode Island. Lori checks in. Connie is here. Lee says yes. That means Lee can hear me. Very good. Let's see. Got my June card today already. Colleen already. That's pretty good. And Sheila says she hear me. So awesome. So hopefully it's an audio issue on your side, and we'll get that squared away. So here's what we do. We run through the show. I got the script already. Lisa and Heather did an amazing job getting that ready for me. Then we'll record the show in about, a couple minutes or so. You can watch the live recording, and then I'll put it all on the app and get it all released, all that good stuff. But we'll hang out on multiple platforms to just have fun and make it work. So very, 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 very cool. All right, let me close that down and see if I can clean up some bandwidth here on this computer. So taking me a second. So I try, you guys know, right? If you've been around for a while, you know my goal is to stream this on Facebook and YouTube, everything at the same time. And, we upgraded the internet here, got fiber coming into the house, finally getting that squared away. I think I got the configurations going. Now I just got to figure out if I know how to run all the controls to make it all happen, which is looking a lot like I'm okay with it right now. So let's just make sure I got everything else going. All right, so I see Amy is here. Yep, Carol, afternoon from Oregon. Joanne is here. I'm messaging back and forth with one of the leaders on your studio. Yeah, I saw that. That's, bummer. It's, I don't know. I have no answer for you. Karen from Lafayette, Tammy here. Hello, Tammy, good to see you. And then Carol, and awesome. Yeah. How did you figure, sorry, Kelleen is replying to Joanne. So, all right, Debbie's here. All right, so game plan, like I said, we're going to go ahead and do that. So if it's your first time, let us know. I always like to see if it's your first time here. Welcome to the podcast. We just kind of hang out a little bit. And then after we're done hanging out, after we hang out for a little bit, we record the show. And when the show's all done, then we come back here and hang out some more. So Debbie from Rockford, Illinois. Good chatting with you yesterday, Debbie. It's good to catch up. So fun to hang out. Connie's here. You're not late. You're right on time. Michelle, I see you. Melissa from Minneapolis. Good to see you as well. So, and then Gustine, Georgia. Amy is here. Good to see you. All right. All kinds of fun stuff. So let's go ahead and get some of this stuff done. Let's go ahead and get close to ready. Get the show produced a little bit. I'm ready to get this thing out. It's kind of fun. I got, there we go. There's some audio. Audio looks good over there, so that's good. Amy says here, I saw it, 101 degrees where Connie is. Man, I don't even know what I would do if it was 101 degrees. So, it's all good. So, how you guys been, right? Did you guys enjoy episode 300? Did anybody find the present I left for you in the WhysAdvice app? Did you find that? If you click in the app and you click on episode 300 and you click on the present, you should get a little surprise. So game plan is to make that a surprise going forward. We'll see how that continues to go, but I thought that was kind of neat. And so I want you to go ahead and get in the WhysAdvice app and look for the present underneath the where the episode is, and you can see that. So hopefully you can view it. So cool. Trisha says you're sitting in the air conditioner. Yeah, air conditioner certainly helps tremendously. Makes it way more fun. I agree. So I don't know what the temperature here is. Oh, let's see. It's Looks like it's 85 here, which is gorgeous. We went out for a walk this morning with the dog. Always good to do that. Got hitting my goals this month. Man, I tell you, I don't know if you've been noticing on Facebook, and I put it on Connect a little bit too, but I am absolutely crushing goals this month. As far as, look at that. I mean, I'm setting a goal for each day, a moving goal, an eating goal, and a thinking goal for every single day. And so far, I've only missed 3 of them. And so my thinking goal for this month is to read 30 minutes at a time. And the first time I missed it, I just got busy at work and working on stuff. And all of a sudden it was 11:30, and I made the conscious decision to go to bed. The second time I missed it was because I actually finished a book, and I didn't know which book I wanted to read next. So I was kind of confused and didn't want to commit to a book. And then same thing happened last night. I was working super duper hard and decided to just go to bed instead. But so today I got my reading in early because I knew what I've started to notice is that if I don't get it done earlier in the day, I don't want to do it at night because I'm too busy engrossed in something else. So we're learning from here. We're learning this. Diane says, hello, good afternoon from Naperville. Good to see you here. Good to see you this morning. It was fun to kind of hang out with you in the workshop. That was kind of neat too. So good to see you. Margaret said, are you still having Zoom workshop? Yeah, we still are. I do what is it now? A Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Whew. Quite a few of them. So Lisa says, I was overdoing the activity. Activity is not so crucial in my journey now, so I'm okay with doing less lately. Yeah, especially when it's 97 degrees. Anna's here. Good to see you. Good hanging out. It's been a long time since we've caught up. So, all right, let's go ahead and let's burn up the board a little bit. Turn that down. Audio looks good over there. Just a little bit. I think we're good audio-wise. So episode 301, which is more celebrating. And you guys had a lot to say in the celebration email. So we got more celebration to do today. Yeah, Amy says it's a lot of meetings. It is. It's fun. And I enjoy it. But, yeah, it is it's every day, really, except for I have Monday and Friday are the 2 days off. Outside of that, I lead a meeting every day. That's probably a better way to describe it, is every day but Monday and Friday. And then on Monday, I do the chat with the patrons here. And then Friday, we check in with the patrons over on a Zoom call. So, yeah, every day. And then, of course, we do this Wednesday double. So it's just fun. It's just fun. Linda is here from Indiana. Jan says, hello, everyone. Very cool. All right, so let's go. Are you guys ready for episode 301? I'm ready. Let's get some water ready. This is a little chilly today. We have Airman water, fresh from the hills of Carmel, Indiana. Here we go. Listen to this. Ready? Are you ready? Cheers. Oh, that was a good one. Cheers. Man, that's good. Good stuff. I can check that off the list for today. Getting a little bit of water in. We're officially recording the episode now, so I've got the board ready going. We're recording, so thanks for reminding me of that. Let's see what else we need to know. I think that's it. I think that's all we need to know at this point in the game plan. So, are you ready? I'm ready. I am ready. All right. Let's do it. Jacob, thank you. Good to see you, virtually. Jacob does the post-production audio editing of the podcast. So, yeah, Carol says that's a lot of water. I forget how many ounces that bottle is, but it's a little bit, And so actually, I don't know if you notice it, but I drink it and then I have to pause for a second to let it kind of settle, and then I'm like, okay, now I can go ahead and record. Episode 301 coming at you in 5, 4, 3, 2. I am your host, Fat Dag. You're listening to WhysAdvice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, all at WhysAdvice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. That's right. I say that every time I open the show. I believe in you, and we're going to tell you why in a little bit. Episode 301. Had an amazing time last week celebrating episode 300 with you. You guys did a fantastic job getting some great email into the show so that Lisa and Heather could curate it and get it all ready and get it out to a fabulous episode. So now we're back to normal. We're done celebrating in that sense, but not exactly, because the inbox was a little bit overflowing. So we had a couple extra surprises we wanted to throw at you for episode 301. So that's what's going to happen now. If you haven't already, I put a little present in the WhysAdvice app for you. Look at episode 300. That's where it's going to start. I will do it for 301 as well, but I found a way to finally get the podcast transcribed so that you can read along if you wanted to, as opposed to just listening. So I put that link inside the WhysAdvice app. That's the only place it's going to be. It's, of course, in the Patreon community as well. That they actually have the PDF file in there, but take a look at that. Let me know what you think. If that's something that I should continue to do. I know back in the day, people are asking me if there was an opportunity to transcribe it, and I've looked at it multiple times. It was just so dang expensive, and I finally found a solution that's not nearly as bad as it had been before, so I'm implementing that. Let me know about this. I thought about taking episodes 1 through 300, transcribing them, and putting it in a book. The WhysAdvice podcast book would be kind of fun. So we'll see if that comes to fruition or not. But join us. Thanks for you guys for joining us online, live here on Facebook. Good to see all of you. We're now broadcasting live on YouTube simultaneously. Hopefully that's working well. I don't have the opportunity to test it at the moment, but I will go back and review and make sure that looks good when we're all said and done. But let's go ahead and open the show. Really, the first email comes in out of Watsonville, California, and Jane writes in. She says, "Dear Fat Dag, episode 300. Wow, amazing, right? I've been following you for a couple of years. I found you in Connect by your name, Fat Dag. Your podcast explaining your journey really resonated with me. How it started, how you turned it around to give back. I would listen to the podcast while I walk my dog, and then you started the Wingman group, and then you started the Patreon group. You started tour around the States, your retirement, the studio, everything. Hey, I'm one of your groupies, all right? I met you in person in San Francisco when you came. I met Janine and Megan through your journey, and I do admire you for all that you've given us, and I appreciate Janine for giving up her time with you so you could be with us. Your journey to here reminds me of mine. I remember my friend asking me to go to a Weight Watcher meeting when I was about 16 years old, about 1971-ish. I remember the room was packed and the big scale, liver once a week, Jell-O made with grape Shasta and gelatin, getting your name read if you lost weight for the week, and the $2 fee. Jan was my leader. I remember it took me until 1982 to reach goal in a lifetime. I was working as a receptionist, then I started to gain my weight back, so I quit before they could fire me. I went back to meetings and I battled until finally in 2009 I got to my lifetime weight again. I went to leader training and I started working again as a receptionist first and then of course a leader until I started to gain my weight back again, and I quit again before they could fire me, only to go back to meetings finally in May of 2017. I was back as a leader, now a coach. Believe it or not, until now, I have thought of myself as a quitter and a failure. But by watching you, I now know that's not the case. WW has been with me most of my life, and I'm so grateful I had the guts to keep coming back. For as you say, it's all part of the journey. I'm so grateful for Oprah, the WW team, you, and it just keeps getting better for all of us. This is a lifetime journey, something that is part of who I am, the food addiction battle that I struggle with every single day. I'm so grateful for you and these wingmen, and I'm only a click away from people who truly understand my journey. Congrats to you. Bravo. And I know you're never going to quit, because one thing I always say about you is you're military. Your military never gives up. I hope at this time you pause, ponder, and celebrate all that you've done. You deserve it, Mike. Thank you for taking that leap of faith in the beginning and staying with it for us all in the future, for the peeps to come. Fondly, one of your groupies, Jane. Jane, thank you for your note, and I will always remember the opportunity we had to meet in San Francisco. And I'm going to probably miss a couple of the details, but I vaguely remember you driving across the bridge, getting a flat tire, if I am correct, and then driving back across the bridge because you went the wrong direction or something, and you had to go across the bridge 2 or 3 times. I remember that part of your story because as we were standing there talking, I said, why would you go through all that to see me? Right? Like, once you start driving and you get a flat tire, that's permission to just give up on the journey. Once you make the wrong turn and have to drive across the Golden Gate Bridge, very easy at that point to go, you know what, I'm good. I'll just keep on going and I'll make it home. And so just what you've proven already is that you have the tenacity to just do whatever it is you want to do. If it's important enough to do it, and it's important enough to you, you will do it. And that's the lesson that I kind of just always want to make sure that our community understands, is that once we make this a priority, we're just going to do it. We're not going to be perfect at it. We're not going to figure it out right every single time. We may get a flat tire along the way. We may drive across the bridge 2 or 3 times because we're in the wrong lane. But it doesn't mean we completely change the goal. When the destination becomes kind of unclear and foggy, it doesn't mean that we no longer want to be there. It doesn't mean we no longer want to go there. It means we've got to figure out a different way to get there, a different avenue, a different path. And so your journey is very similar to everyone's journey who writes in, right? And the essence is we've got to continue to figure it out. We're not going to figure this out hiding in a closet. We're not going to figure this out hiding in our house. We're not going to figure this out just completely ignoring the fact that it needs to be figured out. We're going to figure it out by staying together, staying in a community of people who are figuring it out together, holding each other's hand, walking with each other and saying, hey, I don't know either, but let's go. I promise you, taking a step in this direction is better than taking no steps at all. If we figure out that it's the wrong direction, well, then certainly we can turn around and go a different direction. But standing still is not an option. Getting up, moving, finding the path, whatever it is, but you can only do that by getting out and exploring. Jane, that's what we're doing on this journey, and I'm so proud of you so often for coming back to the journey, because you've valued what's important to yourself. You've determined that the most important thing in your life is you and your health. And so congratulations on being a lifetime member. Congratulations on getting to goal. Congratulations on being a coach, right? All that's hard work. All of those rewards only show up when you put in the effort because you've made yourself a priority. I understand the concept of wanting to quit long before WW figures it out and fires us, right? That thought went through my head. And I realized as I was going that, I'm like, man, if they think I'm the only person on the planet that's gained a little weight back, boy, they'd be missing out on an amazing opportunity to just teach the world that giving up is not going to work for anybody. And so that's why, my pledge to you and my pledge to this community is I'm never quitting. You may, there's plenty of people who want me to. I get it. I get the email, but I'm not going to. Because what I understand is that there are millions of people on this planet who need somebody to go, okay, I can take one more step. I can wake up right now and try it again today. I don't have to wait till the morning. I can just try it right now. So, Jane, you're an inspiration. I enjoyed getting over to your workshop the other day. It was kind of fun to watch you in action, and you do an amazing job as well. So thank you for all that you do for our community. Thank you for what you do for yourself. Thank you for what you do for me personally as a patron and a groupie, so to speak. It really helps me keep the fire burning, so to speak. So it was a leap of faith, right? I had no idea. I said this on episode 300. I had no expectation that this podcast would be a tool. I had no idea. And so The fact that so many people enjoy it makes me want to continue providing that service to our community. So, Jane, thanks for being a groupie. Thanks for being part of this. Keep up the amazing work. The second email comes in from Karen. She says, "Hey, Mike, I attended last night's meeting from Massachusetts. Thanks so much. I love your energy. My aha moment was when I finally understood why there were so many trim people at the WW meetings. My old thinking was, why are they here? They clearly don't need to be. I think that's when I finally understood that it's not a diet, but a lifetime journey. Keep up the great work on your podcast, Karen." Karen, I don't think you're alone in that, right? I think a lot of us, when we walk into a WW workshop for the very first time, or even after a time that we've been gone for a while, and we walk in and we see people who are thin, right? We make the assumption, we judge a little bit. We're like, why are they here? Like, oh, really? You want to lose 2 pounds? I get it, right? I want to lose a lot more than that. And so we get in that mindset. But I've said this before on the podcast is if you have 5 pounds to lose and that's your goal, and I have, whatever, 50 to 100 pounds to lose, and that's my goal, it's the same thing mentally, right? If you're not happy where you're at and you know you want to improve it through weight loss and through health and getting healthier, then it's the same whether it's 5 pounds or 100 pounds or 300 pounds. It doesn't matter. But then to take it one step further is when you get there, when you get to whatever goal you've set for yourself, that you need the support, you need the accountability, you need the tools that you use to build your new program to continue. And so you stay engaged in that community because it provides that little bit of comfort of, okay, I'm in people who get it. Mentally, if you could close our eyes, right, and not look in a WW room, other than some excitement and some voices, you wouldn't be able to tell, because the stories are all the same. We all have the same fear, the same doubts, the same wishes and hopes and dreams, the same scenarios, right? And that's what, you think of this podcast now, 301 episodes into it. So many of the stories are similar in nature, but each one of them being unique in such a way that someone else can go, okay, that may be entirely what I'm going through, so maybe something a little different. And so as we look around the room and we are able to kind of put the blinders on, we'll notice that we're all the same inside. That's what we're really working on, is making that inside exude that confidence and that ray of hope and that hey, I got this attitude. So Karen, thanks for joining in for the workshop, coming in from Massachusetts. That was kind of fun. I get a couple comments. People say I love the energy that I bring, and part of me is just a passion, right? I believe so firmly, and I'm so dug into the fact that this journey is so doable for everybody. And the results look different for everybody, but the opportunity to kind of love yourself and change your life and smile once in a while is there. It's that quick. You just take it and do it. And the rest of the things follow suit after. So this is a passion of mine. I don't know if you figured that out 301 episodes into it, but it's an honor to have you walk in with us in this journey. So Karen, thank you so much for being a part of this community. The next email comes in out of Wisconsin. Susie writes in. She says, "I want to share my WW journey for your 300th episode. At 68, 276 pounds, I joined WW for the second time at my daughter Lisa's urging. I joined making it my mission to reach my lifetime goal. I tracked daily in my tracker and my laptop, and eventually on my iPad, trying to get to my first 50-pound loss. I tore my gluteus medius and had to have surgery. I was off my feet for 8 weeks and then using a walker and rehab until I could put total weight on it and get back to working out. I still lost 8 pounds, thanks to my wonderful husband and his belief in me on my weight loss journey. It took me 2 years, 11 months to lose a total of 117.4 pounds to get to my doctor's recommendation of 160 pounds. I maintained it for about a year, but I really had a hard time. So in 2017, I had a doctor's slip for 163. I still struggled. So in 2018, I had another doctor's note for 165. I have maintained it pretty well, but backslid a little last summer in Alaska. I need to lose 2 pounds to get back to the lifetime status so I don't have to pay for membership anymore. I have a picture of my granddaughter and me hiking a glacier in Alaska. When I made my original goal of 160, she came out of her bedroom and said, "Grandma, you lost me. I weigh 116. So I used her as my show and tell at my WW meeting, and I carry this picture to show it with people. On May 21st, 2016, I woke up my husband wearing my wedding dress on our 50th wedding anniversary. I was able to really enjoy our Hawaiian cruise to celebrate our 50th. I've climbed mountains in Alaska and Canada. I've ridden my trike generally 5 to 14 miles. The longest has been 20 miles. I do dance, cardio, Zumba, Pilates, chair exercises, swimming laps, and water aerobics, walking the beaches in Florida, and here in home in Door County, Wisconsin. I'm no longer on blood pressure medication. I'm on book number 30 of the WW Tracking Journal. I track everything and daily activities and now water. I have a group that I daily give messages of encouragement with ladies from Wisconsin, Minnesota, Florida, Alaska, Canada. I have listened to all your podcasts, and I tell people all the time about your WhysAdvice app. I want to say thank you for all your encouragement to the WW members and the military servicemen and women. I have finally gone on chat and Inside Connect, and I attend the virtual workshops every week. I have a special WW friend, Dolores. We talk together. We do water aerobics, and we go to our weekly WW workshops in Green Bay. I realize this is long, but I feel it's time to share my victories with everyone. WW has been a blessing to my life. I will be forever grateful to my beautiful daughter for encouraging me to rejoin after many years of being overweight. Thank you again, Susie. Susie, that right there is what it's all about. As I was reading your email, first of all, congratulations on the amazing success, right? Goal, lifetime, 116 pounds, 117.4 pounds, amazing work. You cannot do that accidentally. You deliberately decided that your life it was time to change, and through your daughter's recommendation, you took her serious. You said, "Yeah, I'm going to do it too," and you did it. Absolutely incredible. I'm proud of you for knocking it out of the park in that way, and so here we are now, the next phase of the journey, going, okay, how do I move on from here? And and I heard you talking about wanting to lose 2 pounds to get back to your lifetime goal, and while I agree that that's an important thing, I also didn't fall short of me all the things that you wrote out that you did. And I want to read them back to you because I don't know if you heard them, but you climb mountains in Alaska and Canada. You ride your bike about 20 miles, 5 to 14 on average. Dancing, cardio, Zumba, Pilates, chair exercise. You made this monster list of things that you do. You're off your blood pressure medication. You're continuing to track every day. You're going to workshops. You have built an accountability system around what you need, around your goals. And you've made it a priority to stay connected to what's important to you. That is a huge testament to your success. And so you didn't get to goal and lifetime and say, okay, I got this, right? You stayed plugged into the resources, and you start digging deeper and looking for more and more and more because you want to continually and you want to maintain the lifestyle that you're now enjoying. Congratulations on an amazing 50th wedding anniversary. When Janine and I, we're going to be at 25 this year. And when we get to 50, if she wakes me up wearing her wedding dress, that would be a fun little surprise, right? I'm confident in her case, it'll probably be too big on her, but good for her. But good for you as well. And so what a neat little thing to be able to just kind of say that you did that, right? Congratulations on completely changing your life. But I want to dig a little deeper into the concept of the accountability that you said. And so, you listed many, many, many things, and talking about your group of people, I think that's probably the most important piece. When you decided that you wanted to, when you got to goal and you wanted to find inspiration, I have no doubt in my mind that group of accountability that you built, you're now providing some support as well. You're an incredible inspiration. You're an incredible role model. And so the most important thing you did in that is not just say, hey, I'm at goal, I've got this. Just like you heard about earlier in the podcast, is that you continue to show up looking good, feeling good, and people probably look at you and go, why is she here? And you're here because, one, you know you need to be, but two, you know that someone needs you to be, right? And someone needs to hear what's got you got going on and go, okay, I can do this. Susie did it. I can do this. And you're able to kind of reach back, like I always say, and you reach back and you lend that hand to someone. You say, hey, I got you. Let's do this. And there are days when you're strong and you're able to provide that, and there are days where you're pulling from the group. And so, but you're constantly staying connected. You're constantly evaluating, and your workout list is long and extensive. So congratulations on completely changing your life. Congratulations on taking yourself off of blood pressure medication. I say this often is that it's the greatest gift you can give yourself is when you completely reverse some health effects that you previously given yourself unintentionally. When you can reverse that, you're giving yourself the gift of health. What an amazing gift that is. You can't buy it anywhere. Very few people can get it. You have to actually go out and take it. And you've given that to yourself, and you should be proud and keep up the amazing work for sure. 117.4 pounds, 116 pounds. I don't care where you are. 100 pounds is an incredible amount of work. 30 days of 30 books of tracking. You're clearly in this to win this for the rest of your life. So thank you again. We have an episode or a note for the Book of Awesome. Anonymously comes in and says, okay, this was hard. I walked. I counted points. And now I have a mindset to keep moving forward. Guys, think about that. Somebody right now is probably listening going, yeah, I did that too. Wow, it is hard. Right? And so when we start looking at the journey and we start trying to evaluate what it is that we want to do, there are things that are difficult for us. And when we acknowledge them and we give them, walking sometimes can be difficult. If you're not used to walking, it is hard. It's hard to get up and say, I need to go do this, and I want to go do this. But now you're a walker. You've gone and you've walked, so that by default makes you a walker. You've counted points. That makes you successful. You had the mindset to keep going forward. All of those are victory after victory after victory, and I want to know what it is your next victory is, because you can add to that list. So thanks for your little note there. I appreciate that. The last email from this show comes in out of San Diego, California. Stephanie writes in and says, hey, Mike, I joined WW as an online-only member in May of 2016 after receiving alarming results from my annual voluntary health screening at work the year I turned 40. In previous screenings, but despite being extremely overweight, my values were mostly in the normal range. So I skated by and convinced myself that I was overweight but still relatively healthy. I could not convince myself anymore. I dove into WW. As someone who already spent a lot of time with technology and my phone, I loved the game of using points for the day, and I loved the 0-point foods, which at the time were only fruits and vegetables. My first day of tracking, I tracked my breakfast, and I found that it was more than 60 points. Most of that in orange juice and sweetened coffee drinks. That was eye-opening. Over time, as I lost weight and WW took points away from my daily point budget, the trajectory of my eating habits completely changed. I sought out those fruits and veggies and the lean proteins. I actually became an apple addict, which I know sounds crazy, but it became my go-to snack. In my first 3 months on the program, I did not exercise at all. Just changing my eating habits was such a huge change that I did not want to take on too much at once. I still lost weight those first 3 months. After that, I started walking the 1-mile loop around my neighborhood. At first, I walked it once a day, and then once in the morning and once at night. Eventually, I worked my way up to walking 6 miles each day. I'm an extremely habit-driven person, and I'm sure that has helped me to be successful on WW. Food and exercise can be so habit-driven. For myself, I've found that if I have good habits with food and exercise, it keeps me in a great place with my mindset. When I got close to goal, I signed up for workshops. To be honest, I dreaded going to the workshops at first because I'm not a very social person, but I knew that if I wanted to become a free lifetime member, I had to attend the workshops. Fortunately, I found an amazing leader in a group. Shout out to my leader, Tony K, in our awesome Friday 8:30 meeting in Poway, California. In May of 2017, in cooperation with my doctor, I hit my goal weight, having lost 140 pounds. I became a lifetime member 6 weeks later, and I've been at goal ever since. A few months after hitting goal, I started working with a personal trainer, and I'm now a runner. I do yoga. Those were things that seemed so intimidating and impossible to me before. And now, those activities help me to decompress and de-stress without turning to food. So I'm at goal, but I'm not perfect. Nobody is. I still binge eat. My binges these days are usually eating 4 to 5 apples in one sitting, which is better than eating a box of Oreos, but it's still the same underlying issue. I will always be a work in progress, and that's okay. My one piece of advice would be to change behaviors a little bit at a time. Make a small change and stick with it. Then once it's a habit, change something else and stick with that. Trying to change your whole life at once is just so overwhelming. And when you're overwhelmed, it's easy to give up. Small changes seem much more manageable, and before you know it, you have a new healthy habit you can build upon. Thank you for your podcast, Mike. I'm always in awe of my fellow listeners and all they have accomplished and overcome. And it's always reassuring to know that none of us are alone in this struggle. Take care, Stephanie. Stephanie the runner, 140 pounds down. Congratulations. What an amazing achievement that is. And I love how you reframed or framed your email saying, I am now a runner. And so, guys, think of this as the words we use are incredibly powerful. If Stephanie would have said, I'm thinking about running more, it's not the same as defining yourself as a runner. When you say, I'm a runner, then well, you just go time to run. And she didn't put in distance. She didn't put in time. She just put in the activity. So think of what is it that you're trying to accomplish and label yourself that. Give yourself the title. I'm a podcaster. That's what I do. That encourages me to keep going, right? Stephanie's a runner. Stephanie does yoga. So give yourself the title and the ability to own it and say, yeah, this is exactly what I do. And so great job. And I love how you use the words deliberately and intentional work. You're absolutely right, though. This is very habit-driven. The habits that we've chosen before we became a WW member, those habits, whether good or bad, there's really not a difference between the two. There are habits that align with the goals you want to set, and there are habits that don't align with the goals that you want to set. And so when you look at our lives, probably most of us, the habits we had ingrained were habits that did not support the healthy lifestyle. We came in, we want to change them, and we're able to change them in some way, somehow. But the reality is we have to completely reinvent what it is we're trying to do. And it all comes down to what is it we do most often. And you think about all the things you do, the things you do most consistently is what's going to define you. You don't have to be perfect. You said that, and I agree with you 100%. You don't have to be perfect. You got to keep moving in the direction. You got to set some sort of goal, and then to build the habits that support and are aligned with the goals that you've set. I've done that with the what I call the MET workbook, the moving, eating, and thinking workbook. And so what I want you to do is set an annual goal. Say, what is it the goal that you want to do? And then how am I going to do it? That how is building those small daily habits that push you in the direction to accomplish whatever goal you want to accomplish. That's what we're working on. And I think we're all creatures of habit. We're all habit driven. And sometimes we just don't recognize that some of the habits we have are not supportive to the lifestyle that we really want. And that's what's holding us back, is that we're on autopilot going in the wrong direction. It's as simple as saying, okay, it's time to make a change. It's time to look the opposite direction. It's time to go a different way. And that starts by taking the habits and just really just kind of just changing them one small, tiny, little thing at a time. You can't just, all of a sudden say, I want to just completely change. You've got to do it so small that it becomes easier. It's so easy to accomplish that one thing that you're willing to do it. If you make it too complex, you don't really have the opportunity to build the habit. And we hear all the time it takes 21 days to complete a habit. The reality is it takes consistency. It takes repetition. And so you have to do things over and over and over and over again so that they become automatic. That's what we're working on. It's not a magic 21 day and you're done. It is, have I done this often enough where it just feels natural to continue doing it? It's easier to do it than it is to not do it. That's how we change and build the habits that we're really trying to support in our lifestyle. So I loved your opening paragraph where you talked about when, the first day when you started tracking. Your first day was a 60-point day. And I think a lot of us get that eye-opening moment, right? When we say, okay, we're going to track everything, and that you open the WW app and you get, let's just say 23 points, and all of a sudden you track your breakfast and you're at 40, and you're like, oh my goodness, I think I got it. Orange juice, I'm going to, hey, if you're an orange juice manufacturing company, you're going to not like me in a second. Orange juice is one of those sleepers, right? They put the word orange right in it, so you make the assumption that it's healthy, but the actual commercially available orange juice is terrible for you sugar-wise. You're better off with a Coke for breakfast, jokingly. But the first time I tracked a glass of orange juice, I did the exact same thing. I walked into a restaurant, and I usually would get a soda for breakfast, and I would say, no, I'm going to get an orange juice instead. And I thought I was making the right choice, and I tracked it after the fact, and the same thing. I was like, well, that was crazy. That was like absolutely ludicrous. So if you're not tracking your orange juice, look it up. It's it's crazy points. And your sweetened coffee, you can go to the local coffee shop and get a 20, 30 point coffee. No issues about it. You can have your entire day done before you even get to lunch. And then so we go, okay, now let me look at that data. Let me reassess. Let me figure out, okay, how can I make some changes? How can I make some modifications? Is my trip to the coffee shop a habit, or am I going out of necessity? If you're driving to work, back when we were able to drive to work, if you're in that commute lane and next thing you know, you're automatically sitting in the drive-thru, that's habit driven. And so then the same thing is when they ask you your order, it's habitual to spit out your order, right? A lot of us, when we go through these drive-thru fast food places, we don't need to look at the menu board, right? They could almost take them down, those places. And because we already know, because we've done it enough times that we just do it. If that choice supports your lifestyle, the new lifestyle you want, then good on you. If that choice is holding you back, then you think, oh, okay, what can I do to modify this? But what it's going to take is consistent, deliberate action saying, okay, every day, if I'm going to do this anyways, every day I need to order this and build up the routine to go, okay, I'm ordering things that are aligned with the goals that I've set for myself. So, Stephanie, thanks for your note. It's always fun to hear from people who've lost 140 pounds. You're not even the same person. You're a completely different person, and I can hear the energy in your voice. And so you now go, okay, what's the next step for you? We get that, binging on 4 or 5 apples. I get the underlying condition is the same. We all agree. But it's a great habit that you've chosen. And it's going to continue to serve you well. And the fact that you recognize it and you're aware of it at this point is what's truly going to keep you in the game long term, keep you being successful, and keep you a part of this community for a long time. You summed it up beautifully by saying the members of this community, those who write into the podcast, what they've overcome to continue to win in life is incredible. I think that's my favorite part of the podcast is hearing some of the things that are just absolutely terrible in a sense where you go, okay, most people would just give up, and then I hear the strength and the perseverance of I did and I beat it and I was able to pick myself up and I was able to move on, and that's my favorite part is hearing the comeback story, right, in your email. And so they're out there, and we now know that every single one of us has an opportunity to have our own comeback story. And we just live it day in and day out, and we say, okay, I can take this one step at a time in the whatever direction that my goals are aligned with. And then we jump up and down and we celebrate. Folks, I always want to know, what is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to fatdag.com, click on the WhysAdvice podcast app, send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. I want you to email in your celebrations because I want you to be proud of what you're doing. I want you to share with what you're doing so that other people understand the value and the victory of never, ever giving up. I want you to email them in because people just need to know they're not alone. We're not alone. If you're listening to this right now, there is somebody who has a very similar, or if not exact scenario going on in their life that they say, hey, I can still do this. And when you write in with that comeback story, that victory, people go, okay, it gives me courage and strength to take it one more step. You can do that. I'm honored to walk this journey with you. Keep up the amazing work. Well, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. From Jacob in the booth and Lisa and Heather from the content production team, we wish you good focus. All right. Woo. Any fruit drink you drink has points, even if you don't add anything. I know, fruit drinks are terrible. D says, another great show in the books. Episode 301 in the books. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. I love it. Oh, fun. Guys, thanks for being here. What a fun little opportunity. Yeah, Tricia says, great emails. I know. I tell you, I should have said this during the show, but I'm honored that you guys choose this avenue to share. It really is, and I mean, I don't know the exact numbers, but when I read this, I mean, there's about 8,000 to 10,000 people who are going to hear it, which I think is phenomenal. And so the fact that you've taken the courage to write it in and share your story, it's my favorite part. It really is. And so you guys think about, I say this all the time, when you think about, podcast world, this podcast, very few guests on the show. The guests are emails that come into my inbox. So keep sending them in. That's what keeps the whole thing going. So for sure. So onair@fatdag.com. That's how you do that. Let's see what I missed here in the comments. Janine looks like Janine did a great job. I can't wait till we get her back in the studio. You guys agree with that or what? I'm trying to get her back in the studio. Yeah, I agree. So cool. Pat says, glad I made it an advantage to working from home. I agree. Carol says, glad I was able to sit in for the hour. Now back to work. I'm glad you were as well. Jane says, just got here a few minutes ago. SWAT team down the street. So too much action for me to get on here. Jane, we read your email at the beginning of the show, so you're going to have to go back and re-listen to it. But it was a great email. But I'm glad you're here. So, yeah, Lisa, Janine can do the show and you can do the chat. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Here, Janine, the microphone's yours. Come get it. And she's shaking her head no at me. Karen says 301, just as great as usual. I know, you guys are making it. It's your show, so that's what's kind of fun. Keep up the amazing work. Jane says, yep. So, all right, guys. Yeah, I know. Tricia says, I can't wait for Janine to come back. So good. I agree. So, hey, guys, thank you for all that you do. I was able to, as you guys have noticing, at the bottom of the screen, I put in the Patreon contributors who make the show possible. And so that takes me a little bit of work. And so I made a screenshot for the rest of us. So, so what I do with the scrolls at the bottom is I limit it to the colonels, the chiefs, and the majors, but I wanted to make sure that the rest of you got your name on the screen. And so I'm going to flash it up as I wind out here. But thank you, all of you, for joining us. Thanks for being a part of this. Amazing news, right? I told you before, the Wiser Me workbook is getting completely redesigned. I bet you I'm less than a week away from getting that thing released into your hands. So I'm super excited to get that to everybody. If you can hear this, you're going to get a copy of it if you want it in your inbox. So that's going to be kind of fun. And so, Carol, you'll see your name on the next screen. That's what I was trying to get at. So very fun. But again, thank you for being here. Like I said, the Wiser Me workbook coming up. I got some other crazy things that we're working on. There's a lot going on this year. This year is going to be the year. So that's what it's all about. So thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of my journey. Thanks for just really, thanks for everything. I guess that's kind of what I want to say. So, on behalf of the entire group of people who support the show, your name coming up right here. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So I'll let that run for a little bit as we go ahead and wind out of here. But thank you again, all of you. Keep up the amazing work. Honored to walk this journey with you. Bye-bye.